in Kenya, it's Labor Day, and we are home taking a rest before we go back to work tomorrow. So today I'm going to speak to you about how to raise successful and well-rounded kids, or how to set your kids for success. As parents, there's no manual for raising kids. As you know, currently or in every setup, nobody in the world can claim that they have a perfect manual which can work to enable you to raise your child. But we keep learning from each other, we share information with each other, and we try to find a way that we can be able to raise successful children. Let me start by mentioning these few that I have listed them here. If you want to raise a successful child, let them learn the word of God from a young age. If possible, read, pray, and let your child learn the word of God and learn the Bible every other day. You know, when children know that there's a supreme being in God that humans look up to, children learn to obey from a young age. So as a parent, for you to be able to teach your kids to be successful, for you to be able to mold successful kids in this world with a lot of challenges, please let them learn the word of God from a very young age. This will set up your children. It will differentiate your children from other children in this world. And they know that you have boundaries in life. There's God in heaven. We must do good. We must do good to those people around us. And this is going to set up your children for success. First thing that we've spoken about is let your children know about God. Read the Bible with your children. Sing the songs that even praise God every other day, and your children will be set up for success. Thank you for joining my live today. Please consider hitting on the like button. You can even drop a message so that I'll say thank you, so that I know that you're here. Number 2, as a parent, lead by example. Children learn by observing. And the first contact that, I'm sorry for the noise around here, children learn through observing. And the first contact of observation for a child is their parents. So if you as a parent leads by example, your children, wow, the noise is too much. Your children will definitely follow in your footsteps. So from a young age, instill or model positive behaviors in your children, like responsibility, honesty, kindness, hard work, working smart. You as a parent should not underestimate your impact in your child's future success. So from a young age as a parent, let your children pick positive things from you, and your children will be set up for success. Number 3, encourage a growth mindset. Teach children that challenges and mistakes are opportunities for learning and growth. You know, most times some children might think if you fail, that is the end of the story. But let your children have a growth mentality. Let your children have in themselves the growth mentality. They know that even if I fail this term, I'm going to perform better next term. They know that they are growing. Tell them that your past failures are not going to define your future success. And from that, they develop a growth mindset. They know that you grow from one level to another. Just a moment. Develop problem-solving skills on your children. Encourage your child to think critically and find solutions to problems, both small and big. Let your children know that problems are there, yes, we accept problems are there, but you as a child, tell your child that you have to develop problem solving skills. Let them know that problems are there, but solutions are there to problems. So that from a young age, they know that they, what do we call, they agree or they are aware that problems exist. But you as a parent, you have to instill problem solving skills in your own children. Nobody is going to do it for you. You have to nurture it from a very young age. Give them something to do, and if they fail, try to make them solve their own problems. Don't rush to solve all the problems for your children. Give them an exercise to do. Of course, sometimes they pass the exercise and sometimes they fail. Don't rush to give them an answer. What you can do is that teach them about that thing, and then if you want to know that they have learned this thing, give them an exercise to do on what you've learned. If they fail, tell them, did you understand how I taught you this thing? If they say yes, tell them to go back and try to solve that issue. Don't be there to solve all their issues. I know there's this temptation, parents, we want our kids not to stress themselves. We want to be there for us to solve the problems of our kids. But as parents, we should let them solve their own problems. Develop social skills in your children. Provide opportunities for your child to interact with others. Learn to cooperate and resolve conflicts peacefully. As a parent, you should enable your children to develop social skills. In this world that a lot of things is happening, we tend to guard our children from interacting with their peers, from playing with their parents. So you find yourself, you've locked your children in the house the whole day. And that, you might think that you're helping your child, but in actual sense, you're really affecting that child's social skills. Allow your children to play with others. Let them know that it's okay to play with others, but then there are boundaries when you're playing with other children. Let them know that you have to cooperate. They have to cooperate with their friends. Encourage them to engage in meaningful plays with their friends so that they learn the skill of cooperation. Also, let them know that socially you should be able to solve problems peacefully, because conflicts are there. Even young kids, young kids are not like adults. Kids, when they're in problems, they can sort out their issues and they continue playing. Let your children know that when they're in conflicts with other children, they should find a way to make peace immediately, and they continue doing what they were doing. The next thing that you can do to set up your child for success is encourage reading. Reading is a fundamental skill that can open doors to a world of knowledge and imagination. As a parent, from the time that your kids are very young, let your children know the importance of reading. Let your children not grow in front of the TV their whole lives. Let your children learn the importance of reading. If you go to school and you perform so well in life, most times you are set up for success in the future. So cultivate the skill of reading. Read with your children. When they wake up in the morning, put off the TV. Maybe after taking breakfast, put off the TV. Take a book. Give them a book to read. Let them do the assignments, or you will even take a novel or a book to read. As we said before, children learn from observation. So if you are, as a parent, you like reading, you like doing one or two things with a book, when they see you as a parent reading, this will cultivate a culture of reading in your home. And reading is the way, is one of the ways that kids learn knowledge, they acquire knowledge, and it expands their imagination. For example, you give them a storybook to read about a story in the Bible, or they read about a fairy tale character, or they read about anything. Children will, their imagination will be able to be broader, be able to think out of the box, so that they know that there's another world, even if it's a fictional world, there's a fictional world that exists. And in the process, your child will gain knowledge, and their mental imagination will be able to expand. Allow your children to take risks. Yes, I know you have reservations in this as a parent. I know most times we don't want our children to take any risks in life, but for this we are saying allow your child to take calculated risks. Not every other risks, not harmful risks. What we are talking about is a risk that is calculated. We are not speaking about the harmful risks, like the risk of reading ahead of their peers. Tell them, for example, ask them in school, which chapter are you in? They tell you they're in chapter 2. Tell them to take a risk and go to chapter 3. If there is a puzzle that you want your children to try to play, tell them to try that puzzle. Let them calculate that thing. There's something which is out of their comfort zone. That is what we call a risk. Allow your children to take calculated risks and learn from mistakes. Because when you take a risk, most definitely you will be able to make mistakes along the way, and you will be able to learn from those mistakes. This, if you allow your children to take calculated risks, this is going to set up your children for future or for success. Praise perseverance. What do I mean by this? Teach your children not to give up at the first frustration. Most times children do something and then they fail and they would throw in the towel, they want to give up. Please, let your children learn perseverance. Your children should learn that you should not give up after a setback. Setbacks are there. Tell them the reality of life. Setbacks are there in life, but your child should know that that is not the end of life. You may not succeed in all that you are set to do in life, but never give up. And when you see your child failing and rising up again, please don't forget to praise that kind of perseverance, because it's not easy to see a young child doing something and they fail, but instead of giving up, they raise up on their feet and they do it again and again until they succeed. That is a very good thing that your child has gained. Please praise that kind of perseverance. Tell them to be resilient, to keep trying, not to give up. And when you see this thing is being cultivated and they are able to raise up after they fall, please don't forget as a parent to praise them. Praising your children for all the positive things that they do, of all the things, maybe you're your children something and you see them practicing it. As a parent, please don't forget to praise your children, especially when they learn perseverance. Celebrate your children's success. Patricia, hi Patricia, thank you for joining me, my friend. Patricia, it has been a minute. Thank you for joining us today. Celebrate your children's success. Acknowledge and celebrate your children's achievements, big or small, to boost their confidence. Most times, Thank you, Patricia, for joining me. Thank you. I appreciate you. Patricia from UK, if I'm not wrong. Thank you for joining me today on this live. Learn as a parent to acknowledge and celebrate your child's achievement. This is almost similar to what we have just spoken about. Whether it's a big or a small success, learn to celebrate with them. Don't say they have scored A in maths and this is maths for pre-primary. We cannot celebrate this. Learn to celebrate both big and small successes. This is going to boost your child's confidence in the long run. Your child's confidence is going to be boosted. You might not notice it at first, but if you do it repeatedly, telling them you've done. Thank you, Claire, for joining me. Hi, long time. Claire Ochola, thank you for joining me, my sister, today. I appreciate you and I appreciate your company. Thank you so much, Claire Ochola, for joining us. I appreciate you. Give them chores to do. Thank you, Claire, for the like. I appreciate it so much. Give your children chores. In the modern society, most children are not allocated tasks to do at home. Children wake up and the first thing they do, even before they brush their teeth, they have not even washed their faces in the morning. The first stop for a child is their iPad, it's their phones, it's the TV, it's going outside to play. Children should be grounded in such a manner that you raise them in a structured manner. When children learn that there are things that they're supposed to be doing every other day, when your child wakes up in the morning, let them know that they go straight. I'm just giving an example. Let your children know that the first thing they do in the morning is to wake up, pray. We're insisting on prayer and being in connection with God. Let your children have a structure. For example, when they wake up, they pray for themselves. They make their bed, no matter how bad it will be looking. Don't allow your children, after 4 years or 5 years, to just be waking up and then they throw their beddings all over the place and they go start holding their the iPads and they start playing on their phones. Please, let structure be there at home. When they wake up in the morning, they pray, they brush their teeth, they take breakfast, they clear the table. Don't allow your nanny or your children or your home manager to be doing everything while your children are relaxing every day. Your children should know they should clear the table, wipe the table clean, do 1 or 2 things, even make their beds, brush their shoes, sweep the compound, wash. I know they will be doing a mess, but wash their underwear, wash their handkerchiefs, small chores, and you will be setting up your child for success. Let your child not be the kind of children who, even at the age of 15 years, they cannot wash their own handkerchiefs. They cannot even clean their own underwear. Place a laundry basket somewhere in their room where they'll put the underwear from Monday to maybe Friday, and then on Saturday, everybody, you supervise them. Everybody remove your dirty underwear and handkerchief and you clean. With this, my fellow parent, thank you, my dear sister, for liking. You will be setting up your children for success from a young age. Don't compromise. You might be telling your nanny every other day, you have not swept the floor clean. You have not ironed the clothes well. You have not washed the utensils. But your children are there staying, just doing nothing. As a parent, your children, Ronnie Ansen. Hi, Ronnie. Thank you for joining us. Please remember to like this live and leave a comment. I will appreciate you. Give chores to your children. I think this is something we should learn as parents from a young age, and we'll be setting our children for success. Exercise your child's brain. How are you going to do this as a parent? We will ask ourselves a question: how are we going to exercise our child's brain? Exercising a child's brain can be achieved through various engaging activities. For example, playing chess. You can even go to an online or Facebook marketplace and you buy that chess. There's a game children play called chess, even adults. Buy those things and let your children learn. This will be exercising your child's brain. Physical exercise. Allow your children to go outside and play. You know, playing, jumping, kicking the ball, playing, what do you call these games? Racket games. It's going to develop your children's, it's going to exercise your child's brain. Playing puzzle games, engaging your children in creative arts and physical exercise, all these things that I've mentioned will stimulate different areas of your child's brain, and it will enhance your child's cognitive skills. Read to your children storybooks, tell them stories, read a story to your child and ask them what they learned from the story that you've read. Don't just read a story to them and you say good night. Read a story to your child and ask them, what have you learned from the story that you have read today? What have you learned from the story that you've read together? This is going to sharpen your child's brain. It's going to jog your child's brain. Enroll your child to learning another language. If I know the country that I'm in, children learn in English in school, the English language. Enroll your child, if your school offers that kind of an opportunity, enroll your child to an extra language, maybe German, maybe French, or any other language that you want your child to learn. This is going to sharpen your child's brain. The next thing that we are going to speak about is emphasize the importance or the value of education and using your God-given talents. Recently in Kenya, they have introduced something called CBC. This is going to assist children who are not gifted in class to pursue their talents. As a parent, you should emphasize the value of education and also on the side, emphasize your child to be using their God-given talent. Parents who value education often prioritize their children's education. Support them with homework and encourage them to pursue academic interests. Also, encourage your children to pursue not only their education, but their God-given talents. Every human has a God-given talent in them. As a parent, hi Ronnie, thank you for joining us today. As a parent, you should be able to encourage your child to pursue not only their education, but their God-given talents. We know many people, we have very many examples in the world of people who are using their God-given talent to even earn their money, to earn them money, to earn them success in this life. You don't only succeed academically, but you can also be able to succeed in other areas of life. So if you notice that your child has a talent, your child has a God-given talent, encourage your child to pursue that talent. Don't dim your child's talents. You might be telling yourself as a parent, my child is performing poorly in class, and you start stressing yourself. Don't. Please try to discover what your child likes. Try to discover your child's God-given talent and pursue that. This is going to assist your child to be successful in life. It's not everybody that we see in this world that is successful only through academics or through reading. Other people have equally succeeded through other avenues in life. So let's encourage all avenues that our children can be able to use to succeed. As a parent, As a parent, you should help your kids to set goals. As a parent, set large and small goals with your child. Achieving goals makes kids feel strong and happy with themselves. Help them make a list of what they want to achieve, then guide and help them to achieve it. As a parent, it's your duty to help your children set their goals for the year. I know when the year begins, we as adults, we set up goals that we want to achieve towards the year or during the year. But most times we forget about our kids. If you want to set up your kids for success, help them as well. After you finish setting up your goals here, sit down with each of your kids. Set up their goals with them. Of course, there are big goals, like the goals they want to achieve by the end of the year. Maybe at the end of the year, they want to have improved their grades from 250 to 300 marks. Those are big goals. You set that as up to the end of the year. But then there are very small goals that you can be able to assist your child to set up. For example, you can assist your child that by March this year, you will have known how to play chess. By June, you should be able to improve your grades from 20% in maths to maybe 50%. Those are small things they can be able to achieve in a short time. For example, another small goal you can set up is by the end of the month, I should be able to know make my own bed. And when they do that, we said you should be able to clap for them. You should even be able to appreciate them with a gift. Because when you gift them, when they achieve these small goals or big goals that we are talking about, it's going to encourage your child to even perform or to want to perform better. So you as a parent, well, after you've set your yearly goals, your monthly goals, your quarterly goals, sit with your child and set big goals and small goals for your child. You will be setting up your child for success. Don't get upset when your children make mistakes. I know at times as parents, we get upset when our children make small mistakes or even they make big mistakes. I know. Please, as a parent, don't be very angry all the time when your children do mistakes. As a parent, you should be able to make your children learn from these mistakes. I know we are African parents, and sometimes the stroke of the cane. They said, spare the rod and spoil the child. There's that aspect of discipline. But it's not everything you as a parent, you should be disciplining your child. Allow your children to learn from these mistakes. Tell them, yes, you've done a mistake. This mistake does not all mistakes inataka kiboko. No. Tell them you've done a mistake, yes. Learn from this mistake. Please don't repeat this mistake again. And from this, your child will know making a mistake is not bad, but learning from the mistake is the goal. Don't let your child know that every time I do a mistake, my father is very angry with me. Your children will be afraid to even try something new. They will be afraid to try anything new, and they will just be doing the normal. Your child will be afraid to think outside the box. If you become very harsh on your kids, they will be afraid to think outside the box. They will not be willing to do anything out of the norm because they know if they try, because they don't know, of course, sometimes they fail, my father or my mother will be very angry with me, and they might even end up beating me. So they avoid doing anything extra from the norm, and this is going to set up your child for failure. So as parents, keep encouraging them. Tell them mistakes is not the end of the world, but it's an area where you can use to improve. Encourage your children to try new things. The innovators in the world, the current innovators that we see in the world, they learned by trying new things. You know, if you're just using to doing the normal, waking up, cleaning, reading, playing, sleeping. And that is what they do every other day. You don't encourage your child to do a new thing. Take them to a place where children are learning an instrument. Maybe it's a piano, maybe it's a guitar, maybe it's a drums. Taking them for swimming lessons, taking them for French classes, doing new things. Let your children learn new things. Don't be the parent that exists on what the status quo. Think outside the box as a parent. Take your children for football classes. Take your son for things that boys like doing. Don't close your children in a close-knit space that they cannot even use their minds to think outside the box. As a parent, it's your duty to encourage your children to try out new things. And as a parent, you should be able to know that every child is unique and may require different approaches, strategies from their parents so that they can be able to achieve their full potential. Children are not the same. Don't treat the abilities of child, even when you're trying out new things as a parent. Just know at the back of your mind that every child is different. And as a parent, you should be able to know that every child is different, every child's ability is different, and so you should be able to treat your children differently. Children even have different interests. You should not force your children to be doing the same thing as the other person. Encourage them to have individuality, encourage them to pursue their talents as everyone is gifted differently, and you'll be able to set up your kids for success. Okay. As a parent, you should be able to teach your children to be responsible and self-reliant. As parents, there's this, there's this temptation that we want to be doing everything for our children. Please, parent, encourage your children to be self-reliant. Teach them to be responsible. Responsibility begets self-reliance. If your children is responsible, if I give you this chore to do today, and you're responsible enough to ensure that that particular thing has been done, it will cultivate the art of self-reliance in your children. Give children age-appropriate responsibilities and chores, allowing them to develop a sense of independence. You know, you might be having a 2-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old. Give each child chores depending on their age. Don't give someone who is 15 years a chore that can be done by a child who is 1 year old. You will not be assisting that child. Please let your child do an age appropriate chore or responsibility, and this is going to instill responsibility and self-reliance. As they continue growing, let them get bigger and bigger roles, and ensure that they are responsible enough to do what you're doing, what they're supposed to be doing. If you've given them anything to do, keeping in mind their age, keeping in mind age-appropriate responsibilities, you will be developing, as I've said, a sense of independence. And by age 12, you'll see when your child will be able to cook for you. Challenge them and tell them, today you're going to cook lunch for us. By the age 12, they should be able to be careful with the gas. They should be able to cook, but you should be able to be monitoring them as they're doing these activities until you ensure that they're responsible enough to do these activities on their own. Nurture the sense of curiosity and instill the love of learning. Encourage your children to ask questions. Don't be the parent who tells their children, I'm tired of questions. Now you're becoming too much. I'm tired. Your children will be very afraid to even become curious about something. But if they're curious and you answer all their questions, you'll be helping your children, and you'll be setting up your children for success. Encourage them to ask questions, read books with them, play puzzles, and be open to learn new things. If you instill this, if you nurture this curiosity in your children, automatically they will be able to learn new things. Provide, as a parent, the next thing is provide a stable and supportive environment. Ensure your children have a safe and nurturing environment where they feel loved, respected, and valued. As a parent, it's your duty to provide a very stable and supportive environment for your children. Ensure that your children have a safe home. They have a place they can call home. Let your children know that no matter how the world turns to be, I have a place to run to, and that is home. Let them know that home is a very safe place, and this is going to instill confidence in your children. Ensure that your children feel loved, respected, and valued. There's nothing as important as your children feeling loved, respected, and valued. They know that their feelings are respected, their choices in life are respected. Your child knows that they are valued, they are being loved by their parents no matter what. In this world where there's a lot of bullying, people like putting each other down, people don't respect each other. If your child know that my parents love me, they care about my feelings, they respect my boundaries, you will be able to set up your child for success. Teach your children the importance of discipline from a young age. Discipline equates success. We as parents, I know we know that if your child is disciplined, this child is already set up for success. Discipline should be balanced. Even as a parent, you should be able to balance discipline with praise and encouragement. Don't be tempted to be the kind of a parent whose definition of discipline is beating them up, is denying them food, is locking them out of the house, is doing something very harsh for them. As a parent, you should be able to balance discipline. Even at the cost of disciplining your child, balance this with praise and encouragement. And this is going to set up your children for success. Let them know the importance of discipline from a young age. I know it's not easy, but let them know from a young age that if you are disciplined as a child, you are going to go places. You are going to reap success in the future. You are going to achieve your dreams if you're disciplined. As a parent, you should be able to set clear boundaries and expectations from your child. Let them know unacceptable and acceptable behavior. As a parent, it should be very clear in your child's mind, in your child's well-being, that this is the area that I am not supposed to pass. That when my friends are doing this kind of thing, if they or my friends want to engage in drug abuse, my father or my mother has told me drug abuse is harmful, it's illegal, it's not acceptable, and I should not be engaging in this kind of a behavior. Let them know that even if my parent is not watching, that I should not be found doing. Imagine raising that kind of a child. You should be very proud as a parent if you reach this level of parenting. That even if I'm away in the university and my peers are going out drinking alcohol recklessly, my parents told me I should go to school to study, not to be taking alcohol and abusing drugs recklessly. If you can be able to get that kind of a child, that it's Sunday, I'm far away from my parents, but I know that Sunday is a day that I wake up early and I go to church. I go be in connection with my God. I go in church, I sing, I join the Bible study group, even in the absence of my parents. You will have achieved 80% of what parenting should be. And you should be able to pat yourself in the back and say, I've tried as a parent. Because this journey is not easy. Another thing that you should be able to do to your child to set them up for success is to let your children know openly that you as a parent have expectations for them. That my duty as a parent is to take you to school, to pay your school fees, to facilitate you with all the things that you need in school. And your duty as a child is to go to school, read hard, read smart, do everything that your teacher wants you to do. And with this kind of mindset, you are going to be successful in the future. Tell your children your story. I know most of us went through a lot in life when we were growing up. Not the children of nowadays don't have a lot of challenges to face. Some of us, when we were growing up as parents, even getting school fees was a problem. And you would see people going to school, but then they're sent away for school fees. But nowadays, most kids, you will not see them on the road that they have been sent away. Parents are really doing their best. Most parents try their best to even pay their children's school fees. Not like the age when you grow up. You go to school, or people go to school, 2 weeks down the line, people are sent home for school fees. And they go, because there's nothing at home for your parent to pay school fees with. So you find that people stay at home. Other students are learning in school, but other students are at home looking for school fees. Let your children know that those are the things that you went through when you are growing up. And so they should be able to learn from you, but know that you as a parent is trying your best. You as a parent, you're trying your best to ensure that they are in school. You're buying them books, you're paying the school fees, you're buying the shoe that they want. I'm sorry for the noise. You're buying the shoe that they want. You're doing everything that you can to ensure that their learning is smooth in school. And for this, your child should know that you are sacrificing a lot of things as a parent to enable them to stay in school, to enable them to learn in a conducive environment, to enable them to get the best education. And for that, the only thing that you want for them, let it be clear that the only thing that you want from your children is for them to be successful in future. Tell them that what you only expect from them is for them to become successful. And with this, you will be setting up your children for success. Thank you so much, my valued viewer, for watching me today. I appreciate your time and I appreciate your company. Please remember to hit on the like button, and I will really appreciate you supporting my channel. If you have not subscribed, please remember to hit on the subscribe button below and join my YouTube family. See you on my next vlog. Bye.